Hello everybody, Arsenal lose 2-0 to Chelsea at the Emirates, and I presume it's Arteta out time again, which, to be honest with you, I think is just lazy at this point. I'm not going to go in on Arsenal fans and say that, you shouldn't be unhappy, because you should. You've got no points from your opening games, you've got no goals from your opening games, and that's going to continue against Manchester City next week. So your season won't start until after the international break, when you'll have 0 points going into a game against Norwich, which you'll need to win. But I do find it quite tiring, because I watch a lot of football, watch Arsenal play Chelsea today, and I think that is not a shock. If there are people there, and it will be trending, I've not been on Twitter yet, but it'll be trending, Arteta out, Arteta out, Arteta out. They'll be queuing up, give me the mic, Arteta out, Arteta out. And it's like, you out, because you're boring. You're offering absolutely nothing. You're not going into detail about anything. You're like the guy who says you like The Godfather, and then you ask him about Sonny, and you go, who was he? The sun in the sky. Like, you've not watched it, have you? You're just coming up with something that's popularist. And whilst I do think that there is a case about the manager at Arsenal, it won't change things. You forced Wenger out because you thought that you should be winning titles and fighting for top four wasn't good enough. You got rid of Emery because you didn't want to go through the process, despite Emery winning numerous Europa leagues before and winning it with Villarreal since, knocking you out of the process. The patience at Arsenal isn't there, and everything's about changing the manager. Change the manager, change the manager, change the manager, change the manager. It's like changing the batteries on your remote control when the other buttons aren't working. Yeah, the batteries will make it work to a certain extent, but you need to fix the buttons. And Arsenal don't want to do that. I was doing the watch along earlier, and I said if I was manager, if Arteta got sacked and I came in as Conte or whoever, the first thing I would do in the press conference, and I would say to the owners, I will take the job if you let me do this. I'm going to sit down in every press conference and I'm going to be direct with these fans, because out of all the clubs in the Premier League, your fans are the most toxic in relation to making your progression difficult. There are some fantastic Arsenal fans out there, but they don't allow the club to grow because it's always T-shirts on, this out, that out, that out. What needs to happen, and look, this is where I would agree that Arteta probably isn't long-term going to be your man, is he doesn't really communicate in a very, very confident way. Because I think what he needed to do was sit down and say, if we can get top 6 this season, that's the progression we need to make. But for some reason, it's been allowed to be, well, we could get top 4. Well, you're not getting top 4. I know that as a United fan. Any Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City fan, no, you're not going to get top 4. That doesn't definitely mean United will get top 4, but Arsenal won't. If we don't get it, it might be Leicester. It might be a West Ham. But it won't be an Arsenal. It just won't be an Arsenal. I can't see it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I can't. But it's that communication that needs to be there. Because I think there needs to be an education of Arsenal fans when they do start again, because I think they might need to start again, they're going to have to sit their fans publicly and say, we're trying to get top 6 this year. It basically needs that statement. We're a long way from where we need to be. It's probably going to take 2 or 3 years for us to get into a top 4 race. And people moaning about results on the way are not going to help us. But with Arteta, that's never been communicated. Arsenal fans are still allowed to think that they should get top 4. And you shouldn't. You're not a top 4 team. You're 3, 4, 5 years away from that. And Arsenal fans don't want to hear that, but that's where they are. But more and more of them are. There is no shock now with Chelsea beating them 2-0 at Arsenal. Chelsea were, for me, third gear most of the second half, fourth gear first half. It was too easy to get the game won. At 2-0, that game's over. And people will say, why didn't Chelsea go and win it 3-4, 5-0? They could have done. Leno made a couple of saves. Chelsea missed a couple of chances. But then again, so did Arsenal in the second half. But the reality is, if you know Chelsea under Tuchel, get the result. That's what it's about. He would have wanted the clean sheet as much as he would have wanted the couple of goals. So, second half for Chelsea, they were never as up for it as they were in the first 20 minutes. And the game was over after half an hour. So, I don't feel that that was a hard game for Chelsea in any sense of the word. I think that, that's the first game at the Emirates with fans in the ground for 18 months. And Chelsea managed it perfectly. Tuchel, perfect. Reece James was superb. Lukaku was superb. I thought Kovacic... there wasn't really a bad performance from Chelsea. From 1 to 11 and everyone who came on, it was just very, very comfortable for Chelsea. And that's the gap. I don't see Chelsea, Liverpool or Man City losing to Arsenal this season. I don't. Maybe Arsenal can get something against United and Spurs and West Ham and those teams, but I think Chelsea, Liverpool and Man City are not going to struggle against Arsenal. Therefore, it's not a shock that Arsenal lose to them. And I think that's where Arsenal need to lower these expectations out. Because I presume it's Arteta out. As I said, Arteta out. But I think why? The Brentford result was embarrassing. That was a reality. And I don't understand that one in the sense of the word that it's not that hard a leap to expect Arsenal to lose to Chelsea. As for Chelsea, massive game next week. They've got the trip to Liverpool, Anfield. The two teams who I think realistically are going to fight Man City for the title. Obviously, United have drawn today. I'm not happy about that. The less said, the better. You can check out my reaction on the United stand. But I think Arsenal-Chelsea next week is a... Sorry, not Arsenal. I keep throwing Arsenal into the top four. At least somebody is. Chelsea against Liverpool next Saturday is going to be very interesting. Liverpool looking good. Chelsea looking good. It's almost a bit too soon for me. I don't like the fact that those two clubs are playing each other already. It's a massive game. And it's going to get lost in the first 3 weeks of the season. It's a shame they're playing together so soon. But they're both playing well, so we should still get a good game. And whoever can win that really gives themselves an opportunity to put the foot down and start building a bit of a lead. Because remember, Man City have already lost the game. So really excited about that. For Chelsea, their pre-season, their transfer window is just smooth. From the end of last season winning the Champions League to now, it's smooth. And you've got to give Tuchel a lot of credit. Because that team just rotates very nicely. You know, Kante came off the bench and I was like, oh my God, I forgot about Kante. How can you forget about Kante? So many good players, people happy, all working for the greater good of Chelsea's success. And they, you know, Lukaku, as I said on Twitter and as I've said on here before, I've gone with the Golden Boot. If he can stay fit, he's going to score a hell of a lot of goals in that team. And Chelsea are going to go that way. Arsenal, realistically, the squad's not good enough. I've said this a long times. The owners aren't good enough. I've said this a long time. The manager might not be good enough, but changing the manager doesn't change the fact that your squad and your owners aren't good enough. I'd be surprised if a Zidane or a Conte would come anywhere near this job. If you get rid of Arteta, somebody will take it, but will they be able to make a massive amount of difference? Why did you spend £25 million on Ramsdale? I mean, Leno's just made a world-class save there to stop Lukaku making it 3-0. I'm not a big fan of Leno. I think he's got a lot of mistakes in him. But Arsenal fans and the club really like him. So why have you spent £25 million on Ramsdale? As I said, this to me is just stupidity. Absolute stupidity. Really, I can't get it. The guy who has to go to work and all his clothes are gone. All he's got is a pair of shoes. He's got 30 quid to his name. He buys another pair of shoes and walks out naked. Like, spend the money on where you need to spend it. Don't go and buy another shoes because you've got those. Why would you spend £25 million on Ramsdale when he's going to be a backup goalkeeper and you've got so many holes in your team? I don't get it. I don't know that Arsenal have spent their money that well. Odegaard will make him better. Obviously, he didn't play today. But why are they... I mean, look, for me, centre-backs, full-backs, holding midfielders, striker... There's a lot that Arsenal team needs to do to be anywhere near. And the sad thing for Arsenal is it is going to take years because look at the depth Chelsea have got, Man City have got, United have got, Liverpool have got. You're a long way off being a top four team. But can the fans be that patient? I don't know. And that's the problem. Somebody needs to sit those fans down when they do press the reset button and just say this is going to take a long time. Thanks everyone for watching. Smash a like, make sure you subscribe, and I'll speak to you all soon.